Exercise intensity is directly related to the type of fuel you use to generate ATP. During maximal efforts, more glucose is used for fuel. And as the intensity reduces, more and more fat is used to produce energy. There are some common myths we need to smash when it comes to fat burning exercises. Fat is the fuel we use at lower intensities, like walking. However, at these lower intensities, the total calories being burnt are low. If you walked for 30 minutes at 5 kilometers per hour, you might burn 125 calories, with most of the fuel coming from fat. If you run for 30 minutes at 10 kilometers an hour, you will double the calorie expenditure and use a mix of carbohydrate and fats for fuel. So you might burn 125 calories from carbohydrate and 125 calories from fat. During the walk, fat is utilised as the primary fuel, as there is not a great metabolic demand on the body to produce ATP at a rapid rate. However, fat is of abundance in the body, even in the leanest people. After the run, the body will metabolize fat and carbohydrate in order to refuel lost glycogen stores. So the run is of far more benefit than the walk, as energy is expended after training for recovery. As you get fitter, your body gets better at burning fat, as you have increased blood volume and increased blood flow to the working muscles. Inside the muscle, there will also be increases in mitochondrial density, which are your fat-burning engines. So during an aerobic endurance program, your body gets more efficient at burning fat, which has a glycogen-sparing effect. Let's say you're training for a marathon, which takes an average person 3.5 to 4 hours. To run for this amount of time requires more energy than is stored in the body in the form of glycogen. So the more ATP you can produce with your aerobic system, the longer your glycogen stores will last. Consider an elite marathon runner who runs just over 2 hours for the marathon, which is double the speed of an average person. They have very high amounts of fat stored inside the muscles, ready to be used by the aerobic system for ATP production. Though these amazing runners have very lean bodies, they are extremely reliant on fat for fuel. A person who normally performs fast-twitch activities, such as sprinting, will have poor fat-burning potential, as their body will be trained to utilise the phosphate and lactate energy systems. These systems have poor endurance, and training in these modes typically reduces fat burning. So a 100 or 200 metre sprinter would generally perform quite poorly at a marathon. Researchers prove that performing short bursts of high intensity interspersed with moderate intensity endurance exercise burns more fat than steady exercise. This is known as interval training. For this type of training to work, the participant must sprint or work close to maximum effort during the work phase and recover at a more moderate level of effort during the recovery phase. So in short, the best way to enhance fat burning is to perform aerobic endurance exercise 3 to 4 times per week. Incorporate interval training, which increases metabolic demand, and perform strength training, which increases fat burning potential due to increased muscle mass and increased metabolism during the recovery phase.